Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hope and pray everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Uh, I know I've been off for a while, and I just pray that everybody is better today. Now that the Lord has blessed us to see another day, but I needed to make an announcement on this morning about the upcoming interview with Miss Monica Brown this Wednesday on Electra James Inspirational Talks. Monica Brown will be on talking about her point of discussion is going to be dealing with the loss of a child. So tune in if you can on this Wednesday to Electra James Inspirational Talks on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and listen in on that interview because I know loss is hard for everybody. I don't care who we are, loss is hard. But the loss of a child, until you experience that, none of us know how it feels until it's actually us. And that's with anything. Anytime somebody goes through something, you can't predestine on how that person should feel. Because if you've never experienced it, you really don't know. It's easy to talk about things when you have not experienced those things. So I just wanted to, first of all, put that out there before I go into my brief subject title this morning on notifications. I believe that God's been dealing with me on some notifications as far as with my health. Nothing major, but little things happen where He's give you these warning signs to take better care of yourself and to do as you should in managing your health. If there are things going on with your health, you have to be attentive to it. But this morning, in talking about notifications, and what was brought to my mind is the fact that there is so much, and I know you all have heard by now, that now the virus has mutated once again. So now, I don't believe it's in the United States right now, but it's in South Africa. That's the latest that I heard on it. So it's mutated. And until we meet herd immunity and people get, vaccinated, enough people, we got to have at least 90% of the population globally must be vaccinated, or this thing is never going to die. It's never going to get to the point it has right now without reaching herd immunity. What happens is the virus has room to move around and to not completely die out because we haven't reached herd immunity. And I was telling my granddaughter the other day, it's so important. She was like, Grandma, you always reading something. You always listening to the news. Not in a bad way. She was just saying that. In our conversation, I said, sweetheart, you got to listen to other people who have information that you don't have. And then you got to read so you can know some things to place in your knowledge base. Because if you don't, then you will remain stagnated in life. You will remain at a point where you never grow. There is more to life than just existing. You got to know something as you living in life. Life is not just a one-way street. This thing can go so many ways in life. Life, we don't never know what card we're going to be dealt. But we know that there are some cards to be dealt in life. There's some cards of happiness. There's some cards of sadness. There's some cards of plentiful. There's a card of not enough, which is lack. There is so many cards in that deck that you have. And sooner or later, that card is going to be dealt to you. Sooner or later, everybody, what somebody else is going through, don't worry about it. One day, you will get that experience. One day, something that you see somebody else going through, and you might not think much of it, that day will come in your life. Because in life, all of us is going to experience something that doesn't feel good. Or we'll get a chance to experience some joy, some happiness, but we can't get too settled in life. Like it's going to always be like this. We're going to always be on the top. We're going to always have it all. We're going to always, the things that we say we're going to always, but that's not true. That's not true. Because here's the thing. There's going to always be some notifications that come up in your life that let you know this thing getting ready to shift. This thing is getting ready to shift. What do I mean by that? When God starts sending notifications, you got to start thinking differently. You got to start looking at life differently. You got to start taking things more seriously. See, because that's life. Those of us who were once in high school, we made it through high school, right? But there were some notifications along the way as you was coming out of that thing, and I'm just using that as an example, to move out of the public school system into the college career into the military or wherever we went in life. There was some notifications that came with that life is getting ready to change for you, for me. See, those notifications that came was people started treating you a little different. They didn't treat you like you was, that child in the home that we got to get this for him and we got to get that for him. Y'all understand what I'm saying? No. They started looking at placing more responsibilities on you to get done what you needed to get done. And that's with each and every one of us, because we are growing from one level of life into another level in life. Now that's when we're getting from one level of our education into another. Now, once we get out here in this real world, we got to let go of some things. We got to let go of some people. We got to let go of some of our ugly ways. We got to let go. And the reason why I know that we have to let go of some things is because God be sending these notifications. Sometimes in life, when we trying to keep doing that same thing, but getting that same result, we're trying to hang around those same people. We're not even getting any good results out of them. We just want to be in their company. You ever been there? You just want them in your company. But you know that God showed you some things, that those people was not good for your life. I posted on Facebook a saying that you need to hang around people. Listen to me closely. Hang around people that would mention your name in a room of opportunities. Let me say that again. You and I both, we need to hang around people who would mention our names in a room of opportunities. See, that was a notification. I'm going to tell you, it was one for me. Because I don't hang around a lot of people, no way. But I do be around people. I come in contact with people. I do have people in my life that has been a part of my life for a while. And I've met some new people along the way, okay? What I'm saying, in doing this social media thing, doing morning talks, doing my podcast, sometimes it can get heavy on you. People don't understand what it takes to make sure that everything runs correctly, especially on that podcast. You got to reach out to people. You got to do your own marketing. It's things that you got to do to make sure that stuff happens. It don't just happen. But you see, God had to send some people to help me. And I don't have a lot of people, but I have a few people that help me. I have my technical director that's on with me at doing every podcast, making sure technically everything is right? Then I have my nephew who does the rollout piece of the advertisement, okay? So he takes care of that before anybody is interviewed, to let people know, oh, it's another season gonna come up. Then I have my granddaughter who helps me with the marketing piece, because she knows how to move around in the different apps. Okay, and then myself. But what I'm saying here, listen to me closely. I know sometimes people get bored because it sounds like you're saying the same thing over and over again. But no, I say what God lays on my heart to share, because I don't know who might need it. It still goes back to God has to send you notifications that you need some things that you don't have. You need some things that other people have, and you might need to change the people that you hang around. You might need to change the people that you think that think so highly of you, and they really don't. You might need to change the people that you feel like these people gonna be on my team no matter what. They gonna support me, but they don't. I hear this so often. Not only have I heard it, I've experienced it. And you know what? Notification God has sent me. You, Electric, you got to become comfortable with people not supporting your dreams. You got to become comfortable. And this is not just for me. That's any of us who are out here in life. You don't have to try to start no business for God to be talking to you and sending you that message. Sometimes you just trying to get better in your health. Sometimes you just trying to get better in a better space with your finances. Sometimes you just trying to deal with an illness. Sometimes life is just changing so quickly for you. And it make your head spin, right? But God is constantly saying, I'm sending you notifications that things are getting ready to shift in your life. But guess what? When he sends those notifications, see, he don't do like people do. He don't walk out on you. He doesn't. He don't walk out on you. He don't tell you one thing and then go behind your back and say something else. He don't pretend like he with you when he not. See, that's the thing that I love about loving God. That's the thing about having him in my life. Because one thing about it, he know my points of happiness. He know my points of sadness. He knows the points in my life where I don't know if I can go any further. He knows all about that because he made me and he created me. And guess what? I'm not the only one that he feels that way about. That's why he sends us notifications. That's why he reveals things to us. That's why every now and then he lets us know that we are not alone. It don't matter how somebody think about you. It don't matter how people judge you. It don't matter how people see your vision. What matters is that he loves you. That's what he's trying to get us to know through these notifications in our life. I don't care what you go through. I don't care what you go through. I give you warnings because I don't want nobody to destroy you. I don't want nobody to take you down. I gave you what I gave you for your purpose in life. And I'm walking with you through that. And it don't matter how the world looks at you because they don't have to approve you as long as I approve you. I approve of what you are doing. See, it's easy to sit back and to criticize others because they don't have what you have. That's easy to do. But let me tell you, just because you have it now, it don't mean you're going to always be at that same level. See, and God be sending, even in that, God be sending notifications. Not to get too comfortable with yourself. Not to think so highly of yourself as if nobody else means nothing. There are a whole lot of people out there, and I've said this time and time again. There are so many people out there because social media is where things are really taking place now. That's where a lot of people get their information from. And see, here I'm going to put this disclaimer out there because, look, people have asked me about why I don't talk about different subjects. And not in a bad way, they just ask. And I like when people do that. Let me tell you why certain things I don't talk about. I don't talk about things that I'm not an expert in that area. See, I'm not going to be sitting and talking about marriage. I'm not an expert in that. I never worked in that. You got to have credentials and things you should have to be talking about some things to the extent that the discussion needs to take place, right? So this is why God took me in a different direction with getting the information out. That's why that podcast is out there. That's why people come on and tell their own stories. And whatever they talk about, that's more powerful than me getting on here trying to talk about something that I don't know about. I come on to talk about, to share words of inspiration and words of encouragement. That's what I do. But there are people out there who talk about those things that you want to talk about or you want to hear. I am a firm believer. Don't talk about things you don't know about. Don't talk about things that could be crucial to people's lives. If you're going to talk about something, make sure that you have, and I am big on this, that is data driven. Something that is data driven, that means you can put information out there that supports what you are talking about. But just to be talking on subjects that you don't know something about, don't do that. That's why when I'm posed with that question, that is my answer, and that's my firm belief. See, and I'm going to tell you, it's a notification in that for me as I'm speaking out this morning. Do not talk about what you don't know about because you can't go deep into that thing because you don't know enough about that. There are things, yes, I have my master's degree. I do in behavioral sciences. And my undergraduate is also, my bachelor's is also, so I've got years of psychology. It takes a lot of studying of psychology. This mind here. You got to know, and yes, I work in that field where I have to use my knowledge base all the time. That's why I'm always reading up on something. That's why I'm always trying to find and read and get different data on things. That's why I do what I do, how I do it, because I never want to mislead anybody. And that is why the most powerful thing for me that God showed me through that podcast is to bring people on to tell their own stories. I can't talk about something that I don't know about, and I shouldn't do that because I'm being dishonest with you when I do that. If I was to do that, I'm not the expert in those areas. But you know who's the expert on so many topics? It's those people who have went through it, who have went through the different things in life, who have struggled through some addictions, who have, like on Wednesday, the guest that I want to have, who have lost a child. People who have came on and talked about being diagnosed with mental health. I've had that. Criminal justice. About 2 weeks, I had someone come on and talk about that. I've had various topics on my podcast. And I like the way that God set that up. No, I'm gonna set you up that you can bring people on air, because I'm connected to a broadcast. You can bring people on air, and they can come on and they can tell their own stories. Now, who can tell your story better than you? Those are notifications. That was a notification for me. That was a notification for me. When God gave me this vision, that podcast, I don't want you talking about things that you don't know about, because I've given you enough that you can talk about without stepping off into somebody else's expertise. Because if you say something, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. My job has a malpractice insurance on me. That has nothing to do with what that doesn't cover what I do away from the job. This what I do on social media, that doesn't cover me. It only covers me there if I make an error. And guess what? If I'm going to walk light over there and make sure at my job, at the institution in which I work, and doing everything that I'm going to walk, I'm going to cross every T, I'm going to dot every I, I'm going to do everything that I'm supposed to do, because I know if I mess up, if I do anything out of order, it could cost that institution. See, people cover themselves, and they supposed to. So therefore, I have carried that in my professional life. And which filtered into my personal life. Don't talk about things, electric, that you don't know about. Don't get into things that you don't have the credentials for. And I got credentials. I do. But I know, let me tell you something. Out of all the years I went to college to obtain those degrees, you know what a friend of mine told me this. She said, I'm going to tell you something, Alexa. This is something that you need to always remember. You got all this education behind you. You got all this experience behind you. And she has her doctorate, right? She said, what it took you years to get, if you don't walk in the way you're supposed to with that thing, you can lose it in 15 minutes. Everything you work for can be stripped from under you. And that's why I'm cautious. See, that's notifications. Y'all done had notifications in y'all life. People done came to y'all and told you don't do this or don't do that. Don't. And when people do that, stop getting so angry when people, they just don't talk right. They boring. They saying stuff. Ain't nobody listening to that. Because a whole lot of stuff you don't want to pay attention to, a whole lot of stuff you don't want to be attentive to, a whole lot of stuff that you walk away from and you don't want to be a part of it because that's boring. Let me tell you, most of the times, that's the stuff you need to know. Stuff you try to tell your kids, if they just would have listened long enough, they never would have faced that trouble they got into. But you know what? You was boring. You didn't sound right. You wasn't exciting enough. And they end up running into a lot of things in life that they never would have had to go through. But they didn't want to listen. They want to listen to the feel good. And let me tell you something. That feel good gonna get you in trouble every time. I don't care what nobody says. Ask somebody that done lived a while. They can tell you. Listening to things that just make you feel good and never listening to something that's gonna educate you about life, that thing gonna take you somewhere you don't want to be. I'm telling you the truth. And so when I speak on that subject of notification, see, if I hear something, I feel like God is saying to me, I'm not saying that same thing is happening for you. I'm saying if just like he do it for me, he does it for you. And in your life, just like he does it in my life. God be sending us notifications. Just like we try to give our kids notification. I'm talking about grown kids. I'm not just talking about little bitty kids coming up. I'm talking about some of us got grown kids. Won't listen to nothing you say. And when they hit that brick wall, you the only person standing there. Standing there to help them. Come on, y'all know I'm telling the truth. It's not always good to be with the crowd. Haven't you told your child that? You tell your grandchildren that. You don't have to follow the crowd. Be the leader, not the follower. You ever been there? All of us have that have lived a little while. And you know what? When they take that thing in their own direction, only people, because you gave them a notification, only people still standing there is the people that really love them. See, feel good. I told my grandson this. You got to build streets in your life. You got to build some streets. If you get to the end of one street and that street don't work out for you, you got another street. You can go down. You got to build because you're more than one thing in life. You are more than one thing in life. You are more than a football. You are more than a basketball. You are more than a track. You are more than an entrepreneur. You are more than a person that sits in the seat at that high school in academia. You are more than that. See, those were notifications. And just like I tell him that, you have told your kids that, and you are now telling your grandkids. Don't get stuck in one spot. Because when God is sending you notification, it's a reason he's sending you that. It's a reason that he is nudging you on some things. But we don't want to listen. See, we want to act like that's not nothing. We want to act like, just like when them folks send you that bill in the mail, that first time they send it, it's in white, right? But you keep going like you didn't see that bill coming, that light bill, that water bill, that gas bill. You know how you do that sometimes? Sometimes you just don't have the money to pay it, right? Sometimes you don't, if we honest. But sometimes when you got the money and you know that you're supposed to pay that bill and you don't pay that bill, next what you get? You get that pink paper. That's your notification. We getting ready to cut something off around here. See, that's the same way it works in life. God keep time after time after time trying to move people out your life. You trying to figure out why come they don't want to be around me no more. You know why? Because God moving them. He moving them. You ran your course with that. Some friendships, you ran your course with that. Some relationships, you ran your course with that. God say that's over. I took you through that. That's over. Making wrong decisions. Come on now. That's over. When you going to sit down and stop thinking like a child? See, because even scripture supports me on that statement. When I was a child, I did childish things. See, but then when you no longer a child, guess what? You put childish things away. So I don't know why some of us 50, 60, 70, 80 years old still around here trying to act like we still in our 20s. Them days gone. You got to put some of them things you did back then, you can't do them things no more. Your health not even going to let you do them things no more. And over time, before we got to the ages that we are at today, God was giving us notifications. Get yourself together. You're going to have to leave some people behind. It's some people that don't want what you want in life, and then there's some people that don't want you to have what you've accomplished in life. Be who you are. Stand on who you are. Trust in who you are. Love who you are. Because you're a beautiful person. You're uniquely made. It's so much about you that you lose it. God dropped that in my spirit. I'm going to say this. It's so much about you that you lose it because you grabbing at things. You just grabbing at things that's not even for you. And you leaving behind some things that he had already put in place for you. But you look over those things because you're trying to get to what you want instead of what he got for you. Notifications. Think about your notifications in your life. Sometimes God just saying, sit down, smell the roses. Sit down, breathe. Sit down. Listen to me. I know you got some tears in your eyes. I know some people done hurt your feelings. I know some people done let you down. I know this thing that you're trying to do is getting a little heavy. I know it is. You know why I know? Because I know all about you. I know. And because I made you and I created you, I'm going to take care of you. God has spoken to me so many times with that podcast. And you know what? I can tell y'all it's not easy sometimes. And when I say that, I thank God for the vision. I thank God for everything that he has placed in my life and over my life. And I can't stop doing it until he says that's it. Because I don't want to do it if his blessings is not on it. I don't do stuff just to do stuff. I do stuff because I feel like God's saying that's what needs to be done. And I know he sends notifications. Don't look at the people. Don't look at the people. Watch God. Watch me. Don't see, because some people doing stuff towards you just to try to discourage you, to try to hurt you, to try to make you feel like you're not good enough. That's what they gonna do. That's not just for me. That's for all of us. Those whoever I'm speaking to today. There are people in your life, they just dare to try to discourage you. There's some people in your life who you would have done and would do anything in the world for. And they won't support you in nothing that you do. And you know what? But they'll go support somebody else. They'll support people who they don't even know. They'll support people they'll never meet in their life. But you right there. And they won't support you in nothing you do. But here, let me tell you, I've had that hurt. I've had that hurt. But let me tell you something. God said, I gave you that vision. You do what I say for you to do. And I'll take care of the rest. I'll take care of the rest. I have a purpose for what I have you doing. It's not about pleasing the people. It's about me being satisfied with what you are doing in this life, in this vision that I've given you. I'm going to say this and I'm going to get off of here. Notifications. God keeps sending us notifications. Think about things that you, in your life right now, that God has sent you a notification. But you ignored it. And because you wanted to do things your way. And you wanted the results that you wanted. Watch where those things have gotten you. Because you ignored the notification. All right? Y'all have a wonderful day today. I'm probably going to, I'm deciding whether or not I'm going to go live tomorrow morning. If not, I will have a pre-recording. But I'm going to try to go live tomorrow. As I'm telling y'all, I've got some notifications with my health. But it's nothing to be alarmed about. It's just something that I got to be mindful of. I got to be mindful of. Because God does provide. And he take you in different directions. You just got to listen to what he is saying to you. They're all notifications. Okay? So, again, if I don't get to come on tomorrow, if I don't come live tomorrow morning, I will have a pre-recording. But I'm listening to the voice of God. And I'm going to do as he directs me to do. But you guys have a wonderful day. And don't forget about the podcast that's going to be Wednesday with Miss Monica Brown. And again, she is going to be talking about living after the loss of a child. And that's going to be on my podcast, Electric James Inspirational Talks. You go to my YouTube channel and you can subscribe. I would like for you to subscribe. But if not, you can still go back and listen to the interviews. You can listen to the interviews live, but you can listen to them also afterwards. And then I always send them to my page, my Facebook page. So anyways, let me get off of here. I done said this the third time, so I'm going to go on and get off of here. Good morning, and thank all of you who tuned in this morning, and those of you who may tune in and listen later on today. Y'all have a wonderful day, okay? Bye-bye.